Hey, welcome back. You know, sometimes the most unsettling mysteries aren't found in some ancient tomb or a forgotten forest. They come right into your home, through the one device that's supposed to be predictable, comforting, a source of simple entertainment. Your television. Imagine it's a cold November night in 1987. You're settled in, maybe watching Doctor Who, and suddenly, the signal goes haywire. The screen fills with static, and then a bizarre, distorted face appears, staring right at you. That's not part of the show. That's an invasion. And it really happened. I'm Abnul J. Farabi, and this is the Unexplained Archive. Tonight, we're diving into one of the most brazen, bizarre, and still unsolved acts of electronic trespass in history, the Max Headroom incident, the pirate broadcast that hijacked Chicago. It was November 22nd, 1987, just after 8 p.m. Central Time. Over on WGN-TV, Channel 9, the local sports show was wrapping up. On WTTW, Chicago's public broadcasting station, the evening's episode of Doctor Who was playing, the classic serial horror of Fang Rock. Viewers were settled in. And then, on WGN, the screen flickered. The audio cut out, replaced by a loud, irritating buzzing tone. For about half a minute, the picture scrambled into technical difficulty bars. And then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. The station returned to normal. Engineers were puzzled, viewers were annoyed, but it was written off as a weird glitch. A strange, but minor, broadcast anomaly. But that was just the test run. About 2 hours later, at 11:15 p.m., the signal for WTTW was interrupted. Doctor Who was still on. As the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, was investigating a mystery on screen, his face dissolved into violent, rolling static. And then, a figure appeared. It was a man wearing a rubber mask of Max Headroom, that digitally stuttered, computer-generated TV host who was wildly popular at the time. But this wasn't the slick, corporate version. This was something off. The mask was cheap, ill-fitting. The person wearing it was sitting in front of a spinning, patterned background, a piece of corrugated metal. And he didn't say a word at first. He just swayed, silently, for a full 30 seconds. It was deeply unnerving. The silence was broken by that same loud, painful tone from the earlier intrusion. And then, the performance began. His voice was distorted, electronically altered, pitching up and down. He started rambling. "Your love is fading," he mumbled. He brandished a Pepsi can, smacking it, and saying, "Catch the wave." A direct parody of a Max Headroom ad campaign. He dropped odd, seemingly nonsensical phrases. "The great computer that rules the world." He pulled out a rubber fly swatter and smacked himself with it, the sound echoing weirdly. He undid his shirt. He bared his, well, part of his anatomy, which was quickly covered by a photocopy of the same anatomy. It was absurd, juvenile, and deeply surreal. At one point, the camera was jostled, and you could see it was just a small, handheld unit. He sang the theme song to Clutch Cargo, an old cartoon. And then, perhaps the most infamous moment, he turned around, bent over, and another person in the room spanked him with a fly swatter, while he yelled, "They're coming to get me." And just like that, after about 90 seconds of pure, chaotic weirdness, the signal cut. Doctor Who returned, as if nothing had happened. The pirate was gone. The immediate reaction was a mix of confusion and, honestly, amusement. For many viewers, it was a hilarious, weird prank. But for the broadcast engineers and the FCC, it was a serious crime. Hijacking a television signal, especially two major signals in one of America's largest cities, is incredibly difficult. It's not a one-person job with a ham radio. You need powerful, specialized transmission equipment. You need to know the exact frequencies. You need to be physically close to the broadcast towers, which for both WGN and WTTW were located in the same area, on the Sears Tower. This wasn't a kid in a basement. This was a sophisticated operation. The intruder had to overpower WTTW's million-watt signal with his own transmitter, likely from a high vantage point like a hill or a tall building nearby. The technical skill required was significant, and the cost of the equipment? In 1987, tens of thousands of dollars. This was a major investment for a 90-second joke. So who was it? The FBI investigated. The FCC investigated. They had the video. The bizarre performance was recorded by countless VCRs across Chicago. They had audio. They had clues in the rambling speech. Phrases like, "my brother is wearing the other one," led to theories about stolen helicopter headsets. The mention of Catch the Wave in the Pepsi can pointed to someone with a grudge against the soft drink company or the advertising world. The Great Computer line hinted at maybe a disgruntled technician, but every lead fizzled out. No one was ever caught. No credible suspect was ever named. The case went cold, and that's the part that fascinates me. Not just the how, but the why. As an engineer, I can appreciate the sheer technical audacity of it. It was a hack in the purest sense, a demonstration of a system's vulnerability. But as a storyteller, I'm captivated by the performance itself. This wasn't just a signal interruption with a test pattern. This was a scripted, bizarre piece of avant-garde theater broadcast to hundreds of thousands of people. It was a Dadaist art piece forced onto the airwaves. The intruder didn't ask for anything. He didn't promote a cause. He didn't reveal secrets. He just performed, for the sake of the performance. It was a mystery where the motive wasn't money or fame or politics, but seemingly just the desire to create a moment of profound, shared confusion. To prove that the curated world of television could be broken into, and something utterly senseless could be inserted in its place. I think about that sometimes, here in New York, surrounded by signals and waves and digital noise we can't see. We live in a world that feels increasingly monitored, controlled, and predictable in its digital flows. The Max Headroom incident is a ghost from a slightly wilder time. A reminder that the systems we take for granted can be vulnerable to a single, strange, creative will. The pirate didn't steal money or data. He stole attention. He hijacked reality for a minute and a half and replaced it with a dream or a nightmare that made no sense. He created a perfect, self-contained mystery. A joke where the punchline is that there is no punchline, just the unsettling silence after the laugh. He showed up, did his bit, and vanished into the night, leaving behind only questions. Who was he? A brilliant engineer? A group of art students with a big budget? A lone weirdo with a singular obsession? We'll probably never know. And in a way, that feels right. Some mysteries are meant to stay unresolved, floating in the static between channels, a permanent ghost in the machine. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Unexplained Archive. If this story of electronic ephemera and unsolved hijacking stuck with you, I'd be grateful if you'd share it with someone. Tell them to look up the video. It's out there, in the darker corners of the internet, waiting to baffle a new generation. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss our next dive into the unexplained. This is Ibnul J. Farabi for Light Not Studios. Visit us at lightnotstudios.com. Until next time, keep looking.